Oh, hey guys, what's going on? Hello, hello. This is Rick again. You only have 2 more chapters left on this. I want to get to this right away. Yeah, it seems like I'm in a great big hurry to get to just a couple of people. I always say that. Yes, I am a little dismayed. I'm always dismayed of the few people. I feel like I could be like in space and just making little memoirs. And I should be anyways. That's what this is. Maybe someone one day will be able to pick up from here and see, where did this guy come from? All right. Well, I've been here for a good long time. I come from the Ozark Mountains, right now down in Key West, Florida. And what I do is I take a particular number system of 1 through 9. It's a really simple system. And I put it against the scripture of the Bible. And in the process of it, it reveals interesting stories. So it's not like the Bible code, where, different words and prophecies and stuff can be read from it. It's kind of interesting stuff. But no, it has nothing to do with that. This here has something to do with the way the Bible was written. And so we do know with this text that I've been reading from lately, which is the book of Ezra, the second book. It's been a banned book from the Bible for about 300 years now. And it's an apocryphal book which talks about the day of the end of times. All right. Now, it's very interesting when they just don't want to have a whole mess of these apocryphal type of books, I guess, because they are competing in some ways when it comes down to, like the nitty gritty, the actual, a word or place that it's going on or how it's going on. Because the stories are allowed to, they have to stay in an order, but sometimes the symbolisms, the word itself changes. So what we have been going through is you have to understand in this book of Ezra, he's captive right now. Jerusalem has been sacked. The city of Zion has been destroyed, left in ruins, and he has been brought captive to Babylon. And he is right now in the midst, all right, which means, for those that don't know, that means he's in meditation. This whole story is about being in type of meditation. That means he's never came out of it. He's always was in this meditation phase. But that's the way the stories are, because this is, of all things, the Bible is a spiritual book. And so it's about what happens on the inside of us. These guys are talking directly to angels, God, all right? And so you have to be in spirit in order to do this. The Bible tells us that. The Bible tells us that God is in spirit, that God is spirit, and that if we choose to be with him or sup with them or hang with them, pray to him, we also should be in spirit as well. Well, in the story here, Ezra was told that if he could manage, he says an angel told him he was going to give him 3 stories, and that if he could just give him one, he'll be happy. And he also, and this is told to him like around 3 or 4 in the book, the 3rd or 4th chapter, when there's an intervention, because Ezra is on his own for the 1st and 2nd parts, and then the 3rd chapter is where he gets an answer from God. They start answering his questions, and he's wondering how come it is that all the things on the outside are great, and look, I can look across there and see the Zion is just a trash heap. You delivered us right into the hands of our enemies. What the hell? That's what he's saying. This is the way the story comes up, and then an angel comes to him and says, listen, I'll tell you about it. If you can I'm going to tell you 3 similitudes. All right. I don't know what that is. It means maybe something like things coming in at the same time, or something that's like something else. Well, there are 3 things in my mind, the stories. This would become the 3 stories that we've already gone over. and that is the one with what is that one called? The bird, the eagle with the three heads. That's one of the stories. You know, it's a cloaked story, veiled. And what else is there? The second one is when that guy came to the top of the mountain, was spewing shit all over the place with his mouth. That's number 2, right? Son of Man. And then the third one is the one when he's getting seen, when he's underneath this burning bush. This was the last one that we spoke about. And he's told to, you know, it's time to start writing these books down, you know. So that's where we were at. That's where we've come to, is this particular point. And we found out an awful lot through these times that God put us in this position. God takes us into these spots. He's the one who says, I know you, I can hear you yelling, but I can't, you know, I'm just not listening to you. And our transgressions and stuff like that, and the works that we have to follow the word of God only for the first parts. That's called 4. That's what, not for 40 days. Don't contact me for 40 days. That means, you know, that's really, give me some time, you know. And a whole lot of time comes in between these times. But anyways, I've been taking these stories apart by this formula of 4. This idea of worlds. The worlds happen to be, they come in 4s, and every 4 verses is going to be a different world. And each one of those worlds in succession from 1 through 9 will take on the meaning of what the number of the number that it falls under. All 4 along that line. It's very revealing. Now, with those other stories, those 3 stories, those are all finding God. All of those stories are about connecting to God. The eagle story, you know, winding up with the lion, you know, being, you know, the main guy in the character in the story, the last of the monsters, or the last of the animals to rule. That's Judah, you know, God gets to rule the very last times, you know. And so those are all positive stories. And this one where Jesus is, or the Son of Man, makes himself this mountain out of nowhere, with his own mouth and without any kind of sword or weapon of war, destroys all his enemies, and then calls up the pack of the good guys, the children of Israel, the tribe, the 10 tribes. It's just beautiful, you guys. So now he's going to tell us how we get our wicked heart. That was also one of the things that was brought up. We only got these 2 chapters left, and it went downhill real quick. But anyways, as the story goes, those are the ways that you could go about getting it. Even the burning bush business, he's talking about, hey, remember, you know, this is where I met, you know, so-and-so, and we did this and did that. Told them about the law, and nobody did it and all, you know. Well, you know, what I've done is I've taken the whole thing out. There are 63 different parts of this story, which gives us a full 9, and then we get a whole nother 7. But the entire thing is about going into captivity. That it's, you know, it's done. There's no, this is how we all start off. Every part of this is a well, negative. It's everything is on the way down. The earth and the heaven, the physical side of us, and the spirit. This is the land. The emotions. This is a mind. The emotions, the physical side of us, and our spiritual side. Speak in the ears of my people. That's the first line. This is when they talk about the ears of the people. This is about the outside of us. Let's talk about all those outside people. Do you see? but it's a spiritual book. A spiritual book is talking about things that are invisible, things that are inside of us. But when they start talking about the ears and the eyes and seeing things face to face and stuff like that, this is the advice given to those that are on the outside of us. And it's showing here that even here in the middle here where the heaven is, cause them to write this stuff on paper. Do you understand? You see, God's word is in our hearts, okay? But we've got Ezra that's been told to go and do these particular things, to write all these things down, these visions, to do those, to write those things and publish those that are for the worthy and unworthy. That's to publish abroad. And then there's this one group of 70, which is 7, to be hidden for the wise to find. All right. So when things are hidden, they're on our insides. This is all our outside. To talk in their ears, in my people's ears. I want you to write it down on paper. This is the making of our Bible. So get this, not only does this King Cyrus bring about the rebuilding of Solomon's temple, he also brings the law to the Israelites. Dying of your own deeds. It's going to bring sword, famine, and death and destruction. Do you understand? This is some of these stories within the stories are worlds within worlds. All right. So look at this one here. This is what God's bringing us. Number, which is 2. 2 represents God's creation, which is you. It's our mind. It's mother and father. It's mind and so it's our mind and our emotions. It's this part. Earth and heaven. He's going to bring the sword to the people. He's going to bring famine to God's word. It's going to bring famine to you. You're going to be treated. It tells you this is going to be treating you like a widowed, an old widowed woman. You know, it's just sad. A poor widow. So we get the sword, we get the famine, we get death, and we get destruction. We get destruction of our spiritual side. This is the grievous headwind that I've spoke about many times, and that the Bible also reiterates too. Number 3. 3 is generally the part that either locks you into, this captivity. It leaves, because this is where you get freedom or no freedom. That's where 3 is. If we can join all of us together, if we can gather 2 to 3 people together, 2 out of 3 people, that's the 5. We can gather all of these guys together, then Jesus will be in the midst. That midst is where they're talking about in here. And the midst right here is being taken away from us. It's going to make us hollow. It's going to make us unable to kill ourselves, so to speak, and that we cannot raise ourselves any higher than we are, already brought onto this earth low. All right. I will avenge them. Not my people are led like sheep to the slaughter. My mighty hand can fix this. For the foundations of Egypt were smitten. Oh my goodness. Here, it's going to be easier for me to just, here, I'm going to Minus it down. It's easier for me to read real words than my own. Okay, so where are we at right now? Let's just bring it to the third world down. This one that I'm trying to get out of my mouth. Because what you're going to have to understand here is that God's handing us over to these monsters, okay, to basically monsters, okay. But all those things that they do to us, God will do to us also. That's what it says. But it will be recompensed. And that where we will be storing this recompense, which means you're going to be repaid for this. You're going to be repaid for all these horrible things that happened to you. And they're going to keep it inside of us. It's where our breast, it's this idea that this is where it's going to accumulate. So we're looking at 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right. And therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. So actually, this is the press. That idea of the press, when it comes down to it, the bad guys will go one way and the good guys will come another. And this is this idea of separating the good from the bad. Let's see where I'm at. Damn it. 9, 10. I'm on 10. Behold, my people is led like a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. But I will bring them with a mighty hand, and stretch out my arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundations of it shall be smitten with the plague and a punishment that God shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn. That's the person. Those person tilling the ground means those people that try to meditate, because that's going inside and digging in the ground, digging into the earth. That's what that means. All right, so it says, let me get back where I am. They that till the ground, here we go, 13. It's a new world. They that till the ground shall mourn, and their seeds shall fail through the blasting of hail, and with fearful consolation. All right, number 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword of their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up, fight against another, and swords in their hands. This is 6. 15 represents a 6. 15, where are we at? Way back here. 15 represents a 6. This is our hand, another reference to an outside business, and a real sword. All right? This is an outside thing. So this is, again, it's a playful thing with, you're hearing what's going on the outside. Let's get moving. For there shall be sedition among men, and invasion, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princesses, nor counsel or action shall stand in their power. This is number 16. There will be, all right, this means this is against the state. This is some trouble. There'll be some people rising up against the what's normal. We got to be careful of that. All right. Damn. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. So you're not going to be able to go. For because their pride in the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and the men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. neighbor, this is your bond, your messenger, your brother, and if this is our messenger, this is the child. All right, right here, this guy right here. We're looking at what? A man shall have no pity on his neighbor, and shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread. Bread comes from this side, you know. And let's see here. Behold, saith God, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising sun, the south, the east, and this Lebanus, whatever, to turn themselves one against another, and repay the things that they have done to them. Like as they do yet, this to my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom. Thus saith the Lord. This is number 21. Number 21, this is representing 6 of the works. He says, whatever you've done to them, I will give you. I will change. I will fix you later. I will repay you later. This is part of the works. All right. This is number 21, 22. The right hand shall not spare the sinner. 22, 23. A fire has gone forth from his wrath. And this is and 24, woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments. A fire has gone forth from his wrath. This wrath that we're getting from him at this time is complete shutdown. Something comes from this Asia. All right, let's see how this works. Number 25. 25. And I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power. Defile not my sanctuary. All right, so the children are being put out of heaven. These children are being told to leave, not to defile. The Lord knoweth all of them that sins against him. Therefore he delivereth them unto death and destruction. That's this one here, 25. Should be in here somewhere. No, 25. Yeah, here 25 is get out of here. And over here it says, and then he delivers them into death and destruction on 26. And and then comes the plagues. 27, what does it say? Number 27 on here. It says, and now the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For God shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him. So here we are, going through hell, and there's no help. All right? No one will deliver us. Now there are the plagues to come upon. Behold, a horrible vision. This would be in 28. Yeah. Behold, a horrible vision come from the east of all things. All right? Remember, God puts us on this path of vagrants. He did. He's the one that trespassed. He put us on this. So behold, this awful vision that comes from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out in many chariots, and they are just carried upon the wind, and they reach all parts of the earth, and they bring fear, make people tremble. Also, these guys named Carmenites or whatever, raging in wrath, shall go forth like wild boars of the wood. With great power shall they come and join the battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. This is 30. 30 should be right in here somewhere. Here it is. This is instead of going into meditation. Instead of having any kind of a higher help at all. Out of the wood comes wild boars. All right. Remember, this meditation place is going into a field of some kind, or going into the wilderness. And now what we have are these dangerous things running around in the wilderness. making people afraid to go into the wilderness. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, and that they could turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. This is number 31. Should be over here somewhere. And the person becomes this troubled blood. Oh, 32. What kind of life happens to us then? Then these shall be troubled blood, and kept silence of their power, and shall flee. There's only 3 of those 4. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them, and consume some of them. And in their host shall be feared and dread, and strife among their kings. This is number 33. 33 is this conscious number, and it's showing it's on the negative side. For this negative thing should be about wonderful things. And we just came from 8. These dragons, these things have got us in fear and held in fear. And in 9, the same thing. It says, shall be fear and dread. 33, 34, behold, there's a cloud comes from the east and the north and the south. And number 35, take the sword to the belly. 35, I think we should read that one. 35, and they shall smite one another, and they shall smite down a great number of stars upon earth, even their own star. And blood shall be from the sword unto the belly. Now, this is number 35. 35 is going to be here. This is still an outside thing. This is still talking about something that is an outside business. When it says that we will be smiting the stars upon earth, that we are stars. Generally, this is earth and moon and stars. So it's about people, about people. All of us that enter onto earth are considered dead. If you can understand that. So where are we at on the story here? Number 36. And the dung men unto camels, number 36. And dung of men unto the camels, hoe. Number 36. Dung men unto this hoe. Now, what that means is it keeps the camel from being able to walk a straight path. That's what that means. And there shall be great fearfulness and tremble upon the earth. And they shall see the wrath and shall be afraid. And trembling shall be upon them. And then there shall come great storms from the south and from the north, and another part from the west. And the strong winds shall arise from the east, and shall open it, and the cloud which he raised upon his wrath, and the stars stirred to cause fear toward the east, and they all shall be destroyed. This is number 39. Number 39. All these things that causes us to have all this happiness. This is a wind from the east. All right. This is what generally parted the Red Sea, was a gentle breeze from the east. Here is this mean wrath coming from this. The smoke is coming from the east. All right. And this is going to bring nothing but fear upon the rest of this earth. All right. So it says, this is number 40, right? 40. Where's 40? 40 is the end. And the great and mighty cloud shall be puffed up and full of wrath, and the star, that they may make all the earth afraid, and them that dwell therein. And they shall pour out over every high and eminent place a horrible star, fire and hail and flying swords, and many waters, and the fields may be full, and the rivers with abundance of great waters. This is number 41. We get a whole new one. This is the beginning. This is everything starting off really good. 41, but 42, what happens? And they shall break down the cities and the walls, the mountains and the hills, the trees and the woods, the grass and the meadows, and their corn. All right, that was a world within a world. Number 42. Number 42 right here. Look at this, 42. Let's watch how it works. 42. And they shall break down the cities and the walls, mountains and the hills, and the trees and the woods, and the grass of the meadows, and their corn. Actually, we see it. And they shall go steadfastly unto Babylon and make her afraid. This is number 43. 44. They shall come to her and besiege her. And the star, the star and all wrath shall they pour out upon her. Then shall the dust and smoke go up unto heaven, and of they that be about her shall bewail her. And they that remain under her shall do service unto them that have put her in fear. And thou, Asia, that art partaker of the hope of Babylon. Babylon, this is Asia. Asia is where those churches are located. That's an outside thing. And here they are trying to come in as being like, hey, we're going to give you some help. All right, we'll give you some little help on this. This is Asia. Asia. Do you ever wonder how it is that those churches in Asia, the 7 churches, that's because it's an outside thing, and they represent inside thing. The churches are our chakra system. It's a beautiful situation there. So let's keep going. Woe unto thee. Woe unto thee, you wretched. This is number 47. 47. Look, it's calling us out. Woe be unto thee, you wretched, because thou hast made thyself like unto her, and hast decked thy daughters in whoredom, and they might please and glory in my lovers. Oh, well, listen, you guys, this is just taking on the bitch, all right? That's what number 47 is. 47, taking on the whore, being like the whore. Taking on this Asia, this person. This is all about, this is 3. This is talking about, this other person coming in and trying to fill the spot, while you're disconnected, all right? And woe unto thee, you wretched. This is what makes you wretched. Get you dead now. You ain't got your mama. You're whore. You're infested with whores. Thou hast followed her that has hated in all her works and inventions. Therefore saith God. 48. So God's going to come in and talk to us here. 48, 49. I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. This is all on number 49. 49 is a brand new one. This is about worlds. We get double worlds in this one here. And it says 53 again. Let's do this again. Thou shalt be 53. And thou hast not always slain. If thou had not, wait a minute. 4. Let's do this one. 49, 50, 49. I will send plagues upon these, widowhood. Okay, that's the one I was going to talk about. Plagues are for the skin. Widowhood is because of the mind. Poverty is the mind. Famine is because of the mind. Sword is about your brother. Pestilence about your skin. And waste of my houses about the mind. The destruction and death, the mind and the spirit. And the glory of thy power shall be dried up like a flower. The power, this side of you, this is the silver part of us, shall be dried up like a flower. That's something else, huh? That thou be weakened as a poor woman with stripes, and as one chastened with wounds, so that the mighty and lovers shall not be able to receive thee. Number 52, would I with jealousy proceed against thee, saith the Lord. He's doing all this out of jealousy. Okay, I don't want to have to pull that one apart yet, but I will one day. All right? Some things are better left unknown. 52. Now we're going to have 53, which is 53 is 5 is about our body. All right, 5 is the body, the brethren. 53. All right, 53. If thou had not always slain my chosen, exalting the stroke of thine hands, and saying over the dead when thou wast drunken. Okay, when we are with this bitch, we are considered drinking from hers, and this is what it means to be drunken. And this idea of where would I see this? Where do I see it? Ah, God damn it. Number 53. Looking for number 53. If thou had not always slain my chosen. See, slaying your chosen, the chosen one is the child inside of us. And when we don't connect to him and we connect only to her, this is the slaying of the chosen one. And so it's like slaying Jesus. We're always killing Jesus. Jesus is the messenger, and we always kill the messenger. And, I feel it all the time when I'm out here trying to tell people what's going on. You should hear and see the kind of things that come towards me, all right? But, I'm just a messenger, all right? But when you kill the messenger, you kill the connection between you and God. And that's why all these shitty things happen to you. And it says, here it goes. It goes like this. Number 57, thy children shall die of hunger. That's the children, that's because they're not being fed. Saith the Lord, even so shall God do unto thee, and shall deliver thee into mischief. This is number 56. I think that's down here somewhere. He shall deliver us into mischief. He's going to do us the same way. 57. God is a tough love. Number 57 starts the last of the last worlds. It's 6 is usually the works. So we start off with number 57. Thy children shall die of hunger. There goes your messenger. And thou shalt fall through the sword. Thy city shall be broken down, and thine shall perish with the sword in the field. That means outside. You're perishing with the field and the nation and the outside. You perish by the sword in the field and the outside world. Thou as unhappy shalt come thou the sea, and receive plagues again. That means things are going to come through our emotions. You're going to get all these troubles. That's number 59. 60. And in the passage, they shall rush on the idol city, and they shall destroy some portions of the land and consume part of thy glory, and shall return to Babylon that was destroyed. So this is your being sent back into captivity, all right, after it was destroyed, because it was destroyed earlier in Christendom or whatever, in the stories. But now they're being put right back in it, and thou shalt be cast down by them as stubble, and they shall be unto thee as fire. So this is another outside thing. It's going to be treated you like fodder, something like 61. 61 is the outside of us, our mind. You're going to be treated like shit. This is number 7, the Lord's day of all things. That's what number 7 would represent this next run. All right, 61, 62, and 63. There's only 3 more. That means this is the intervention, or you're either being freed or you're being carried away. So let's see where we go. Number 62. And shall consume thee, and thy cities, thy land, thy mountains, and all thy woods, and thy fruit trees, all they burn up with fire. Everything. 62. All the good, all the wood, all the fun, all the fruit, all the good stuff, everything. 62. Gone. Burned up with fire. Gone. Gone. This is what God's doing. All right. This is that terrible vision that comes from the east. Okay. Thy children shall they carry away captive, and look, thou hast, they have spoiled it, and marred the beauty of thy face. That's some mean ass shit. All right, that was a long one. That was a long one, but it was a good one, and I can see why nobody wants to listen to these. It's bad. It's sad. It's sad. It's a sad story, and it's coming from our Bible, and it's one that we have to believe. But we have found that there are more people on this earth that are set to be imprisoned forever and ever. You know, never get out of prison. But of the groups of people, of the millions, billions and billions of little captured souls inside these bodies of ours, God selects one or two every now and then, or one. That's all I know so far is one of the bunch in a series of times. So far, you know, we've gotten only Moses. We've got the first was Noah, first Moses, second. Then we have Abraham, the third, and we also have this Ezra coming in as well. All right, it's pretty cool. There's 4. And I guess we could go on, but the idea is that this, out of all of those people that were brought out of Egypt, supposedly, only one of those guys was saved by God. Didn't take in anybody else. And same way with Noah. Just him and his family got off this earth. Everybody else was destroyed. And it goes to show that it's really just talking about the individual that goes on this trip, and those people are his family, are the kinsmen. Those are the people that are inside of you, that are you. Those are the people that you're responsible for. All right, I love you guys. I'll chat with you soon. We'll get a recap of all this soon. We got 1 chapter left.